You might not feel it, not yet, but if you're over 60, there's a silent mistake you could be making every single morning that triples your risk of stroke. And the most dangerous part is it doesn't feel wrong. It feels familiar, comforting, even healthy. That first sip in the morning, maybe it's coffee, juice, or something sugar free, seems like nothing. But I've spent over 30 years as a neurologist, and I can tell you the strokes that devastate lives most often come from small, repeated habits that people thought were harmless. The truth is, many of the seniors I treat never saw it coming. They didn't smoke. They took their medications. They walked daily, but almost all of them made the same quiet mistake, not with what they ate, but with what they drank. Because what you put into your body in the first 30 minutes after waking up sets the tone for how your heart and brain function for the rest of the day. And most people get it dangerously wrong. It's not about genetics. It's not even about blood pressure. It's about that harmless morning drink you've trusted for years. The one that might be slowly increasing inflammation, thickening your blood, narrowing your vessels, and starving your brain of oxygen without you realizing it. In this video, I'll show you the 5 most common morning drink mistakes that are quietly increasing your stroke risk and the simple changes that could help protect your brain and possibly save your life. One of these drinks is in your kitchen right now, and by the end of this video, you may never look at it the same way again. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Mistake number 1, drinking sweetened iced coffee or flavored lattes. For millions of Americans over 60, iced coffee has become more than a drink. It's a morning ritual. The clink of ice, the swirl of cream, the comfort of a familiar routine. It feels harmless. It feels normal. It even feels deserved. After all, you've lived long enough to enjoy the little pleasures in life. But what if I told you that this one small indulgence could be silently putting your brain in danger every single day? Here's the problem. Sweetened iced coffees, especially the ones with syrups, artificial creamers, or whipped toppings, are a perfect storm for stroke risk. And you often don't realize the damage until it's too late. Let's talk about what really happens inside your body the moment you take that first sip on an empty stomach. The sugar rushes into your bloodstream, causing a sharp spike in your blood glucose. At the same time, the caffeine narrows your blood vessels, making it harder for blood to flow freely. Then there's the hidden sodium in many flavored creamers. Yes, even the ones labeled non-dairy or light. That sodium subtly raises your blood pressure, especially dangerous for arteries that are already aging, stiff, or narrowed. Now, imagine this happening every single morning, day after day, year after year. Your heart works harder, your blood thickens, your brain, the organ that defines who you are, is forced to function under stress, and yet you feel fine. Until the moment comes when a clot forms, travels to the brain, and steals your ability to speak, walk, or remember your loved ones in an instant. The scariest part? It doesn't feel dangerous. That's why it's so dangerous. You're not drinking soda. You're not eating fast food. You're having coffee, something that society celebrates, something that seems safe. But for seniors, especially those with high blood pressure, diabetes, or a history of heart issues, this kind of drink is like lighting a slow-burning fuse every morning. If you're making your iced coffee at home with added sugar and creamers, or picking it up from a drive-thru full of syrups and whipped toppings, I urge you, pause and think about what that habit may be costing you. Because while it gives you 5 minutes of comfort, it could take away years of brain health, independence, and life quality. And let's not forget, sugar and caffeine aren't the only villains lurking in your morning. There are other drinks, ones labeled healthy or natural, that may be doing just as much harm, if not more. You might be surprised by what they are. Let's take a closer look at the next common morning mistake, one that comes in a bottle and is hiding behind a 100% juice label. Mistake number 2, drinking bottled or packaged fruit juice. It sounds healthy, doesn't it? A glass of orange juice in the morning. Cold, bright, refreshing. For decades, fruit juice has been marketed as a symbol of health and vitality, especially to older Americans. Start your day with a dose of vitamin C, they say. But what they don't say is this: that same bottle of juice, even the ones labeled 100% pure, may be quietly damaging your heart, stiffening your arteries, and setting the stage for a stroke. Here's what's really inside those colorful cartons: sugar. A lot of it. In fact, many store-bought fruit juices contain as much or more sugar than soda. And when you drink it first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach, your blood sugar skyrockets within minutes. That sugar spike does more than raise energy. It shocks your vascular system. Your arteries become less flexible. Your blood pressure rises suddenly, and your heart is forced to compensate. What makes this even more dangerous for seniors is the absence of fiber. In whole fruit, fiber helps slow sugar absorption, but in bottled juice, the fiber is gone, leaving behind a concentrated, fast-acting liquid that floods your system. Over time, repeated morning sugar spikes cause chronic inflammation inside your arteries. The inner lining, the endothelium, becomes damaged, more prone to plaque, and more vulnerable to rupture or blockage. That's the perfect recipe for a stroke. It's easy to miss the warning signs. There's no immediate pain, no clear signal that damage is being done. But inside your body, each morning glass is silently stressing your heart, your brain, and the very blood vessels keeping you alive. For someone over 60, that's a risk you cannot afford to ignore. If you truly want the benefits of fruit, eat the whole fruit: an orange, an apple, even blended smoothies with seeds and pulp. These nourish the body slowly, safely. But if you're drinking bottled juice each morning believing it's good for you, the truth may be far more dangerous. And here's what's even more alarming: there's another popular drink marketed as healthy for seniors that contains no sugar at all, yet maybe even worse for your brain. Let's take a closer look. Mistake number 3, drinking diet sodas or zero sugar beverages. You've probably seen the labels: zero sugar, diet, no calories, and felt reassured. For decades, diet sodas and artificially sweetened beverages have been sold to seniors as the smarter choice, especially for those managing diabetes, weight, or heart issues. It feels like you're making a safe decision, maybe even a responsible one. But what if I told you that this choice could be quietly putting your brain and heart in danger, increasing your stroke risk every single day? The danger doesn't come from sugar. It comes from what's replacing it. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium are synthetic chemicals that confuse the body's metabolic response. While these drinks don't contain sugar, research shows they still trigger an insulin response, just like sugar does. This repeated confusion can lead to insulin resistance, which increases inflammation inside your blood vessels, a key factor in both stroke and heart disease. But the damage doesn't stop there. Artificial sweeteners have also been linked to disrupted gut health, increased cravings, and changes in brain chemistry. In one large study, seniors who drank diet soda daily had a significantly higher risk of stroke and memory decline, regardless of weight or blood sugar levels. Why? Because these substances alter the way your brain communicates with your heart and blood vessels. Over time, the risk of atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat, blood clot formation, and vascular stiffness increases, all of which are major stroke triggers in older adults. Perhaps even more troubling is the dehydration factor. Many diet sodas contain caffeine and sodium, both of which promote fluid loss. For seniors, even mild dehydration can make the blood thicker, reduce circulation to the brain, and raise the risk of clotting. So while it feels like a harmless way to quench thirst, it may actually be robbing your brain of oxygen and balance, one can at a time. You may have thought you were avoiding danger by cutting out sugar. But if you're replacing it with artificial chemicals that your body can't process properly, you're not protecting your health. You're just choosing a different path to the same outcome. And if that alarms you, it should, because the next drink on this list doesn't even pretend to be healthy. It promises energy and hydration, but for older adults, it could be one of the most dangerous drinks of all. Let's talk about that next. Mistake number 4, drinking energy. Drinks or sports drinks. For many older adults, especially those hoping to stay active and alert, energy drinks or sports drinks may seem like a helpful boost. You see the ads, vibrant, strong, full of life, and you think, maybe this will help me feel young again. Maybe it'll give me the energy I need to get going in the morning. But that belief, though understandable, can be devastating because these drinks were never designed for aging bodies, and in many ways, they are uniquely dangerous to seniors. Energy drinks are often loaded with high doses of caffeine, stimulants like taurine or guarana, and an excessive amount of sugar or artificial sweeteners. The combination puts your heart and nervous system into overdrive. What feels like a wake-up is, in reality, a forced surge. Your heart beats faster, your blood vessels constrict, and your blood pressure spikes within minutes. For someone in their 60s or 70s, especially with underlying cardiovascular issues, this is a recipe for disaster. But even sports drinks, which are marketed as hydrating and electrolyte balanced, are often heavily loaded with sodium and dyes that quietly stress the kidneys and disturb the delicate balance of fluid in the body. For seniors, this can lead to chronic dehydration instead of solving it, and dehydration is a silent driver of stroke risk. Thickened blood, sluggish circulation, and less oxygen reaching the brain are all direct outcomes. And yet, these drinks are on shelves everywhere, disguised as healthy. Most heartbreaking is that many older adults turn to these drinks out of hope, a hope to feel more energized, to keep up, to stay sharp. But what they don't realize is that these products over time can have the opposite effect: fatigue, headaches, heart palpitations, and yes, a higher risk of blood clots and stroke. If you want energy in the morning, the safer choice is astonishingly simple: a glass of warm water with a slice of lemon and a pinch of natural salt. It supports your circulation, gently wakes your system, and hydrates your brain and muscles. But there's one final mistake, one that doesn't involve any fancy drinks at all. In fact, it's what many people forget to do entirely, and it's the single most dangerous habit of all. Mistake number 5, skipping water entirely in the morning. Of all the mistakes you can make in the morning, this one seems the most harmless. And yet, it's the most dangerous. Skipping water. It doesn't sound serious. After all, it's just a glass of water, right? You'll have some later, maybe with breakfast or your pills. But when you delay hydration, especially first thing in the morning, you may be silently putting your brain and your heart at serious risk. After a night's sleep, 6, 7, even 8 hours, your body is mildly dehydrated. You haven't taken in any fluids, yet you've lost water through breathing, sweating, and basic metabolism. Your blood becomes thicker. Your heart has to push harder to circulate it. And most importantly, your brain, the organ most sensitive to fluid balance, starts the day already behind. Dehydration causes reduced oxygen delivery, slows circulation, and increases the risk of blood clots, especially in older adults whose vessels are already narrower and more fragile. The scariest part? You may not even feel thirsty. As we age, our thirst signals naturally weaken. By the time you feel dehydrated, your body has already been struggling for hours. That's why many strokes in older adults happen in the morning, during the critical hours when hydration is most needed, but most often ignored. It only takes one small clot, one narrowed vessel, one moment of low oxygen, and a life can change forever. Speech slurs, vision fades, movement fails. Families are left shaken, wondering how it all happened so fast. And yet, sometimes it begins with something as simple and preventable as not drinking water. That's why I urge every senior to start their day not with coffee, juice, or a fancy health drink, but with one full glass of plain room temperature water. No ice, no sweeteners, just water. It's not a health trend, it's a life saving habit. It helps your blood flow, supports brain clarity, and gives your heart the help it needs to face the day. But now that we've talked about the five most dangerous mistakes, there's one final truth that ties them all together. A truth most seniors never hear from their doctors, yet it may be the key to preventing the next stroke. Let's bring it all home. Small sips, big consequences. If you've watched this far, it means you care, not just about living longer, but about living better. And that matters. Too often we think health is all about big things, surgeries, medications, diagnoses. But in reality, it's the small, repeated choices we make every single day that quietly shape our future. For many older adults, stroke doesn't come suddenly. It builds silently through blood vessels stiffening, inflammation growing, and oxygen slowly slipping away from the brain. What you drink in the first hour of your day may seem unimportant, but to your heart, your brain, and your aging arteries, it's a message. It says either, I'm here to protect you, or you're on your own. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for juice, diet soda, or sugary coffee, pause. Reach for a simple glass of water. Let that be your act of prevention, your quiet promise to your body that you're listening now. Because prevention isn't dramatic. It's not loud. It's the quiet wisdom of choosing better while you still can. And if this video helped you, please share it with someone you care about. It could be the reason they never have to recover from a stroke. And that is the best gift you can give. Stay safe, stay sharp, and stay hydrated. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.